Hi there, Paper House fans. We are trying to get the internet to cooperate. I am starting to wonder if this time of night is just not going to be the best. We might have to move a little earlier, but we are going to give this another try here, and let's just dive right in where I got started. So I challenged our design team to use multiple products this week, but to keep it to a minimum. And so what I did is I challenged them to make something boy masculine themed, and I gave them just certain products that they could use. I gave them these 2 sets of washi tape, which you can see the butterflies is probably not going to be super useful on boy stuff, but this one is. And then also these ones. Now, let's see, are we getting a connection here? Okay, looks like we've got a connection. Hopefully it stays with us. Hey, Melissa, glad you're here. Just holler at me, guys, if it keeps freezing up a whole bunch, because I can't, if I jump up and check my phone, we get lost, and you know. So, carrying on, I've got these ones that are boy mom stickers, which I love. This is like my 3rd set of them. And then I also challenged them to use these 3 patterned papers. And you can see I specifically chose things to match the sticker set. That is one of my tips for you when you're beginning scrapbooking. Pick out what you want to work with, whether it's you want to focus on the pictures, you want to focus on the stickers. You can go either direction and then pull together everything to coordinate. You can see these patterned papers do have a backside, so you've got like multiple options here. Now, what you see in front of you right now is what I'm going to be working with, and it's not a lot. So if you're new to scrapbooking, this should not overwhelm you. This is not a lot of product right here. It's also very budget friendly, okay? The stickers are not terribly expensive. The washi tape they're a little more expensive. I think it's $6 for 2 rolls, but these are not going to get used all in one layout. You are going to be using these for a long time. So the cost effectiveness of washi tape is fantastic. Patterned papers, super cheap, anywhere from $1 to $1.50, just depending on if they have foil on them. And you really get 2 sides, so that's fantastic. So very, very budget friendly if you limit yourself to certain supplies, and not hard to work with. You can see these are all going to coordinate really nicely. Now I'm going to toss to the side the washi tapes that I am not going to be using. And then I am going to show you what I'm going to base my whole thing on. Now, I said I was going to talk about beginning scrapbooking. One of the things that's great for beginning scrapbooking is to pull out a sketch. And guess what? Paper House is going to have a sketch every single month for you, all the way through at least the beginning of the year. We have a talented designer named Samantha who has agreed to create sketches, and she's gearing them at easier beginner type sketches. So this one that you see right here is our August one. And it is very simple, as you can see, but you can make it as complicated as you want. Hey, Tara! Tara is here, and Tara actually designed these stickers, which she has 2 little boys, so it's kind of perfect. So I will be basing my whole design tonight on this sketch so that you can see how you take a sketch and can turn it into something really special. Now, if you want to see another take on this, head on over to the blog. There was a new blog post yesterday with that. And you can also do it yourself and then share it with us. Now, I am going to actually even go down further, and I'm going to get rid of that paper, and I'm going to work with just these 2. Now, I did tell the team that they could use cardstock and letter stickers. Both of those were freebies that they could use as needed, but I told them to try and limit themselves beyond that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to take this paper, which this is like my favorite paper ever from Paper House. It's another thing that I have used just over and over and over. I like that it looks like a galaxy, but it doesn't have to be. I love navy blue. I think that's a big part of why I like it so much. But I love it. So if you look at my work from Paper House, you will see me using it consistently. So what I'm going to do to create this triangle up top is I am going to just pretty much set my paper on here. I'm not going to try and cut it beforehand because that would be a mess. So I'm going to just do a line across the top because I know I'm going to be working all the way across here. And I'm going to just get it placed right on there. I don't want it to go too far down. And then I will trim it off. Hey, Adrian, glad you're here. Doug, welcome. The sketches are definitely fun. And I think for all of you out there that are maybe intimidated to get started or don't want to cut into your papers, they're a really good way to try things out. And I'm hoping that a lot of you will see this one and want to play along and join us over in Paper House Crafts to share. So there I've got the beginning of my sketch. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take just some white cardstock and I cut down some strips. And I am going to just add these on, but I'm going to add on some washi tape as well. And I'm going to just keep going. I know it's freezing some. I'm going to have to keep going because I don't really know what else to do. So if you can just hang with me, it seems to be like going back and forth on connecting well. So I'm sorry about that. Next time we will try an earlier time frame, I think, and see if that doesn't help. But feeling everyone in my neighborhood must be online at this time of night or something. Okay, so I'm gonna just take the washi and I'm gonna just run it across this. And then I'm gonna do the same with the green washi. And the reason I'm wanting these both is because I want to bring in some extra color. I want to bring in color from the stickers, quite frankly. So, well, and I should probably make sure I get it long enough. Kind of important. And washi is very forgiving. If you place it wrong, it's very easy to lift back up and fix. And that is fantastic because not all things in the scrapbooking world are quite as forgiving as washi tape is. Okay, so I've got that one and I'm gonna just tuck these under. And I'm gonna do the same thing with another sheet. Start with the right one. Concentrating here. Okay. And then we've got the green. Okay, there we go. Hopefully we can get the internet to cooperate with us here. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to tuck this underneath. And I'm going to just tuck a little bit of the white. I don't want the white to completely show, and I'm not worried about what my point is going to look like here because I'm going to cover that up. Okay, so I'm going to just take my easy runner here and run it along, and then tuck this underneath. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So there we have a good triangle shape coming down. Okay, and you can see. And then I am going to go ahead and trim off the edges. And then I've got that basic background going. Now I do want to add one more to the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And yes, my white strips have patterned paper on the back. I like to save the paper pads from Paper House when I have leftovers. I like to save them. And sometimes the leftovers fit perfectly for getting the, you know, when you need little scraps like this. It's, you know, I may not use the entire sheet up completely, but I do get pretty close. And again, that's just another little budget-friendly tip. Use your B-side. If you've got scraps, you don't have to bust into a whole new piece of white cardstock every single time. You can just pull out some scraps. And I just keep a scrap bin right underneath my desk, so it's always ready to roll. Now, I have 3 sons, so I have more boy pictures than I could ever possibly want. I started, not want, but you know what I mean. I've got more than I ever could possibly scrap. When I started scrapbooking, I had just 1 son, and so I was really focused on scrapbooking boys right from the start. Thankfully, I do have 1 girl in there too, so I do get to play with all the pretty girly stuff. But I do have a lot of fun doing boy things, and I love to come up with boy ideas. So you can see right now, this is a very masculine look already. And it's just using 2 kinds of washi tape, 2 kinds of patterned papers. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is add my pictures, and I'm going to just use some 3D foam, crafty foam tape from Scrapbook Adhesives, and pop these up because right now I've got a very flat layout going on. And so I want to pop them up. I have this first one that's a selfie of me and my middle son, and that one is the best picture, so I cut it out as the biggest, but I did want to get 3 pictures on there, and these other 2 I'm going to not pop up. Hey, Bina, thanks for joining us. Okay, so there we have some silly mom and son selfies. Okay, and you can see how I'm coming together with the sketch. I've got my triangle, I've got the pictures. She just had 1 picture on there and that totally works. I just had 3 that I wanted to use. So I did. Now, part of the reason I picked these pictures is because I felt like the coloring of them went really nicely with this wood paper. And so I used that to strengthen things. Now, I'm going to start adding on my stickers, which is always one of my favorite parts. Now, easily, you can tell what's going to be my title, this Boy Mom one right here. And what I like to do with these, before I pull them off and get them attached, is to just cut them apart and figure out my placement. Where do I want things? Okay, now the sketch calls for the title to be a little higher, but guess what? It's your project. If you don't want the title to go all the way up there or it doesn't look quite right, you can move it down, okay? That is the beauty of a sketch. It gives you an idea of a good design, and then you get to make it your own. Now, I've got all these other cute ones that I want to work in here. I think I'm going to do this funny dinosaur one because it's just kind of a funny layout, and so it fits really well. I don't know if you can see the dinosaur is riding on a bicycle. And she does have on the sketch a little spot right here, so I'm going to do that one there. And, I do love this quote about there's this boy who stole my heart, so I think I'm going to put that, yep, that works really nicely right there. And then going back again to the sketch, she's got a spot right here, as well as maybe some writing here. So I'm going to look at what I could tuck in there. Let's see, I don't have a lot of big pieces left. So what I think I'm going to do is just do a cluster of elements. I'm gonna do this cap, and I don't think I want another speech bubble. Well, maybe I do. There's some cute ones, yeah. And we'll go ahead and do, you can tell I'm debating between so many of them. I'll do this oh boy one. Okay. And then I'm gonna, since I've already cut out that shoe, I'm gonna add that right there. Okay, so that's got the building of my basic embellishing going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and add those. I'm happy with how it looks. Gonna stick that at an angle. Hey, Elizabeth, you're off tonight. No more Starbucks work, and you get to watch Christine play. Awesome. Okay, so all of these, like I said, they're 3D stickers. So they have got, I'll show you, they've got this foam on the back, which is just fantastic. And you know what? If it's too much dimension for you, if you don't want them to be quite that tall, guess what? You can pull that foam off. Just like you can make the sketch totally work for you, you can also make the stickers work for you. I don't very often deconstruct them because I kind of love dimension. So I don't mess with them too much, but I am going to do that up there instead of down below. Toss that there. Maybe. I don't know about that. Well, having a hard time with the speech bubble. It's okay. It'll be okay. I feel like the speech bubble should be pointing at something speaking. Which technically it should, but you know what? Hang on, I just said you can make them your own. This is what I'm gonna do. Tara's watching, Tara will approve. No longer a speech bubble, yay. And that looks better because something about the speech bubble sticking to the bottom wasn't working for me. Hey, first timer here, glad you are here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, right now, I've got a fabulous layout. Clean, simple, not too much going on. If you're a beginner, this is great. Like, stop here. You don't have to go any further. I am going to take it a little further just so you can see what the next step might be if you wanted to go a step further. So what I did is I pulled out a couple of star punches. And I am going to just punch out a few white stars and see if I like it. I don't know that I'll use them for sure, but it can't hurt to try, especially around where I've got the clusters going on at this point. And this is another tool that, as a boy mom, I use this constantly. Someone noted the other day that I use a lot of stars on my projects, and I was like, yes, I do. I think I own every metal die that has stars and lots and lots of punches. Now, you can see that's already taking it to another level, but what I'm going to do even further is I am going to add in some smaller stars. And this one literally came from just like a dollar bin. At a big box store. It was super cheap, and I like bought all the different styles because who can't use a few more little a few more little pieces. I'm thinking of the color that I'm punching, sorry. Okay, so you can see that just totally changes it, just a smidge, but it takes it to another level and adds a little bit of extra interest. So I am going to add those on there. Now, how in heaven's name am I going to attach them? The little stars, I think I'm going to just use this liquid adhesive, which is just a dual tip glue pen from Home and Hobby, because I don't want to dig out my glue dots right at this moment in time. I'm getting the thumbs up from Elizabeth. totally having fun with this. I like doing scrapbook layouts with you guys live. I think that's my favorite thing of all, which could have something to do with scrapbook layouts being my favorite thing to do. I definitely enjoy all the other stuff, but being live with you definitely adds a different fun element to the scrapbooking. So these bigger stars I'm gonna pop up because, like I said earlier, I love dimension. I can't get enough of it. Okay. And again, these stars, if you look, they're also just scrap paper. Not all of Paper House's paper, like if you buy the individual sheets, they have 2 sides, or if you get them in a crafting kit, they have 2 sides, but the paper pads don't have 2 sides. And so I kind of have a mixture of both. And so I definitely, you know, save all my scraps so I can use them. Not all of them. That's not true. I definitely purge a lot too. Like, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to throw that away. But I do save what I think I will use. Okay, so now I'm going to stop here because I don't want you to have to feel like you have to take it any further. The only thing I am going to add to it is journaling. Now, I am not a big front of my layout journaler for several reasons. First off, I don't like my writing that much. That's not a good excuse. Second off, sometimes I just like it to be personal. my husband has a very public job, and so a lot of my life is very public. And so sometimes, very often, I just want my journaling to be between me and my family. And so what I'll do is just flip over my layout and journal on the back side, just attach a card to it. But tonight I do want you to see the journaling because I think it's important. So I'm just going to add it down here where I've got some white space to add it. And it's not going to say anything real spectacular. I'm going to just comment that it was a fun and silly moment taking selfies with Cooper. And then I will put down the date, which was May 2018. And I have room, so I'm going to put where we were at. And there we have it. Clean, simple, fun, and very minimal product. You can work on a budget, you can do it as a beginner, and perfect for little boys. So be sure to check out our sketch over on the blog. It's also in our Paper House Crafts group. We would seriously love to see you play with it and see what you create. Even if you can't use all Paper House stuff, we'd still love to see what you do with it. Of course, we'd love Paper House stuff the most, but we love to see you scrapbooking and we love to see you playing. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Now, I am going to be off for the next 2 weeks because I am taking a trip out to visit family. But I will be back at the beginning of September, on September 2nd, with another Sunday Night Live for you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great week, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks.